once upon a time, not so long ago, there was a little girl, and her name was Emily. And she had a shop. There it is. It was rather an unusual shop because it didn't sell anything. You see, everything in that shop window was a thing that somebody had once lost, and Emily had found, and brought home to Bagpuss. Emily's cat, Bagpuss. The most important, the most beautiful, the most magical, saggy old cloth cat in the whole wide world. Well now, one day Emily found a thing. And she brought it back to the shop and put it down in front of Bagpuss, who was in the shop window, fast asleep as usual. But then Emily said some magic words. Bagpuss, dear Bagpuss, old fat furry catpuss, wake up and look at this thing that I bring. Wake up, be bright, be golden and light. Bagpuss, oh hear what I sing. And Bagpuss was wide awake. And when Bagpuss wakes up, all his friends wake up too. The mice on the mouse organ woke up and stretched. Madeleine, the rag doll. Gabriel, the toad.
Oh, look, look.
And last of all, Professor Yaffle, who was a very distinguished old woodpecker. He climbed down off his bookend and went to see what it was that Emily had brought.
A piece of cloth. Thin cloth with markings on it. Well, I don't know, I really don't know. I haven't the slightest idea what this thing is, or was, or is going to be.
Well, I should say it's probably a piece of cloth.
I know what it is. It's a house.
A house? A house for a mouse?
No, a house for a rag doll.
No, ridiculous. That is a piece of cloth, not a house. Who could live in a house made of cloth? It would fall down.
A rag doll. A doll made of rags.
But what would a rag doll do all day in a rag house?
Read rag books.
Dance ragtime dances.
No. You are not being serious. This is a serious question. What would a rag doll do? What would he eat?
Cloth sausages.
No.
Red flannel soup.
No.
Green velvet jelly on white button plates.
No, Bagpuss, these mice are being silly again. That piece of cloth couldn't be a house, could it? What do you think?
Yes, Bagpuss, think for us, Bagpuss.
Oh, well, I'll try and think, but that isn't an easy thing to think about. I shall need a thinking cap.
I know. Use the piece of cloth as a thinking cap.
Come on, we will pat it down nice and flat. We will sling it on, we will pin it on. There's a hat for a thinking cat.
There's a hat for a thinking cat.
Ah, yes, of course. That is a house. You were quite right, mice. It's a rag doll's house, just like the one made by Uncle Feedle.
Uncle Feedle? Who's Uncle Feedle?
I know Uncle Feedle.
Yes, we know about Uncle Feedle. We'll sing about him if you think about him.
Yes, Bagpuss, think about Uncle Feedle.
So Bagpuss thought.
Ah, yes, Uncle Feedle. There he is.
There was a man made all a rag, his name was Uncle Feedle. His coat it was a barley bag, all sewed up with a needle. His nose was rag, his toes were rag, his legs were Harry's tweedle. His eyes were dots of cotton frocks, they called him Uncle Feedle.
Uncle Feedle was a rag doll. He walked through the rag doll country, where it is always summer and the green velvet leaves grew on the hedges, and all the year the flowers bloomed in the prettiest materials you ever saw. Uncle Feedle needed nothing. If he was hungry, he just had to unpick a cotton cauliflower or a corduroy carrot, and there was his dinner. If he was tired, he just had to find a cotton wool bush and lie himself down on it. Wasn't it odd, then, that one day he found himself feeling sad? He felt he needed something. He felt he needed a house. A house to live in, with a real bed in it.
Old Uncle Feedle had no house, dear little Uncle Feedle. He had no bed, he had no house, poor little Uncle Feedle. Poor little uncle, silly old uncle, hadn't got a bed, so he took a bag of cloth and rag, a roll of cotton thread, oh.
Uncle Feedle emptied all the pieces and patches of cloth out of his rag bag and set them out on the green velvet grass. The other rag dolls saw him working away, and they were very puzzled. Then they asked him what he was making. And when he said he was making a house, they were even more puzzled. But Uncle Feedle went on working. He laid out pieces of calico and bombazine and watered silk and purple plush. Then he started to work.
Now first he sewed the kitchen wall with cotton thread and needle. With stitches small, the windows tall were sewn by Uncle Feedle. The curtains lush were purple plush and bombazine the mantle. A bottle of milk was watered silk and calico the candle.
Uncle Feedle sewed and stitched and patched and cobbled until he had made the pieces of the 4 walls of his house, with pictures on the walls and tables and chairs sewn on. He even made a real bed from a quilted patch of old eiderdown to go inside his own house. Everything went well, until he sewed the walls and the roof together. Then suddenly the trouble started. His house would not stand up. It was made of rag, and it was all flippy-floppy. Uncle Feedle tried and tried, but every time he nearly made it stand up, one bit of it would bend, and down it would all go, flap on top of him. Well, of course, all the other rag dolls knew how to make things made of rags stay up, the same way as they stayed up. They were stuffed with cotton wool. So they all marched out into the fields and gathered loads of cotton wool flowers from the cotton wool bushes for Uncle Feedle to stuff his house with. Then Uncle Feedle's house stood up beautifully. But there was still one thing wrong with it. What was it? Well, of course, Uncle Feedle's house was so full of stuffing, he couldn't get into it. He couldn't go in through the door. He couldn't lie on his new bed or use any of the useful things he had sewn, because his house was full of cotton wool. Well, that really was a problem. All the rag dolls sat down and thought as hard as they could. Then one small rag doll had an idea. She said, "Why don't you have the inside of your house on the outside? It is always warm here, and it never rains, so there's no need to have the indoors indoors. You could have the indoors out of doors." "That's a good idea," shouted Uncle Feedle. He jumped up, and quick as a flash, he emptied the stuffing out of his house, turned it inside out, and stuffed it full again. And there it was, a lovely house with the inside on the outside. The fireplace and the mantelpiece and even the grandfather clock were on the outside. "Yes," said Uncle Feedle, "I like that house. It suits me."
Now Feedle's house was inside out, clever old Uncle Feedle. The out was in, the in was out, it suited Uncle Feedle. One more kitchen in one wall parlour, one wall was the bedroom. He laid his head on his quilted bed. Sleepy Uncle Feedle.
What a pretty story. What a delightful story. Absolute rubbish, every word of it, but quite delightful. And you, Bagpuss, you look quite absurd with that piece of cloth on your head.
Yes, Bagpuss, give it to me. I will finish sewing it up.
But, Bagpuss, I still say that is quite an extraordinary place for anyone to live.
Oh, I don't know. People live in much more extraordinary places than that. Take these mice, for instance.
Mice, oh, tell us true. Tell us the place that is home for you.
We are the mice that's us. We live on the top of a number 2 bus. The motor bangs, the bell it clangs on a jolly little omnibus that just suits us.
Oh, ridiculous, ridiculous. Those mice are never serious.
Yes, little Jenny Mouse.
Madeleine, Madeleine, tell us true. Where is the house that belongs to you?
Me? A house that belongs to me? No, this is where I live. I'm just Madeleine, a doll made of scraps. You'll find me in a cupboard or a box, perhaps. If my mice are near, then my home is here. Though sometimes I wish I had half a dozen laps.
Yes, yes, I love you all, yes. But there are rather a lot of you. Oh, down you get, down you get. Here is the rag doll's house, all finished.
Oh, yes, that is very handsome. That's not Uncle Feedle's house, because that one has the outside on the outside like an ordinary house.
So the mice took cotton wool from the cupboard and they stuffed the little house with it. And when it was full of stuffing, they dragged it to the front of the window and left it there, so that if a homeless rag doll should happen to come past, he would see it there and come in and live in it. And so their work was done.
Bagpuss gave a big yawn and settled down to sleep. And of course, when Bagpuss goes to sleep, all his friends go to sleep too. The mice were ornaments on the mouse organ. Gabriel and Madeleine were just dolls. And Professor Yaffle was a carved wooden bookend in the shape of a woodpecker. Even Bagpuss himself, once he was asleep, was just an old, saggy cloth cat, baggy and a bit loose at the seams. But Emily loved him.